Hello and welcome to another video presented by Stein Investments. Today I'd like to demonstrate why FX volume is essential for every trader, and we can prove that with a few easy scalping strategy signals we've received yesterday and today, and we'll come to this in a minute. Apart from that, I'd like to show you a first sneak preview from our P4 prototype of the new trade management tool we'll publish in a few days. And last but not least, I'd like to have a closer look at my custom alerts monitoring setup and discuss about templates, the settings, etc. So stay tuned and let's move on with what the market has currently to provide. As we see here, it's almost the same picture every single day. During the Asian session, the total trading volume rises and offers some pretty good and stable moves for our Asian customers. And then during the London session, the total trading volume drops. And in this case, it doesn't recover at all. Yesterday it was different, and we've seen some excellent moves during midday and the afternoon. So FX volume makes a clear difference and tells me when I have to be aware of good opportunities and have a closer look at the signals I receive on my smartphone, and when it's just not worth to check the charts at all, as it is today. So let's have a look at the volume situation yesterday. And there we had a rise, then a pretty sharp drop to the downside, and starting from around 10 London time, the total trading volume stabilized and was growing in the following hours. We see it better if we drop the FX power window to the bottom, and then we see that the peak down was reached at 9:45 with 75,000 lots, and from there it started rising for almost 8-9 hours, and that's where most of our customers earned good money following the easy scalping strategy setups we've seen. And we'll have a look at the chart. Just now I received an easy scalping setup for the Aussie dollar against the US dollar. It was here. The trend is clear. The Aussie dollar is up, the US dollar is down, but there is currently no movement in the market because there is simply no interest for new trading positions. So you can just drop this signal. Got another one this morning. British pound against the Canadian dollar. The first one was here. The second one, no, this is not a valid signal, but the second one was here, yeah. And you see the same situation. Of course, you can place the stop loss here in this support area, but you would be barely break even. So that's clearly not we are after. What we want to see is a more dynamic market, and that's what we've seen yesterday. And as far as I remember, there has been one signal. A second at Euro Aussie dollar. This was this one. The signal came at 11:35, and that's pretty much here. And with a tight stop loss above the last high and a target at the next support level, you would have reached a risk and reward of at least 1 to 2. And that's the point. We are looking for these stable moves without any drawdowns at all, and that's what we need, a stable and rising total trading volume. I can't tell it often enough because I've seen it so often that if there is no interest in the market, the setups don't work, and it doesn't matter which strategy it is. ranging markets are just boring. They help no one and you just risk money, and in worst case you are stopped out and the money is gone. So let's check other signals I remember of. Was the New Zealand dollar, Canadian dollar. This was pretty much at the beginning of the rise, almost 30 minutes after the peak down has been reached at 10:20 yesterday, and it marked exactly the bottom here of this move, and entry signal would come here or here, and then it goes all the way up. And it's the same move on the Aussie dollar against the Canadian. Exact same scenario due to the high correlation of both currencies. Same situation. You enter here, place your stop loss here, and then you're good to go wherever you set your profit target to. So this is just one more example to demonstrate how important the total trading volume is analyzed by our tool FX volume. And even if you say, yes, the retail trading volume is just a tiny piece of the market, it is still a priceless insight you get nowhere else. And the pattern and the correlation between the total trading volume and stable trend moves is so obvious that you can't deny that this is a valuable information. So I can only encourage you to have a closer look at this tool and what it provides, and to keep an eye on it if you think about new trading positions. As you can also see, I didn't took any of these trades even though I received the signals, and the simple reason is that we've been working on our trade manager, which is expected from our users, and we are very happy to have it at this stage right now. We've been working on the design, on the buttons, and it's still just a prototype with some minor bugs we are currently fixing, and this is our priority work these days. And so it's already a pleasure to have this tool here right on chart, taking care of my risk management, calculating the right lot size accordingly, and I just love the design. And I hope we can finish our work for the first version pretty soon and present it in the market during the next days. So that's it from the Easy Trade tool, which should make your trading as easy as possible. And now we move on with my custom alerts monitoring setup here on my VPS, because I was asked quite a few times if I can share another template for this or profile for this. And yes, I could. Of course I could do this. But my point is that I'd like to encourage my users to not just load templates without an understanding of what's happening in the background. I just want you to learn and understand what you are doing, what you are setting up in this tool, what kind of alerts you want to set. And that's why I wrote an entire documentation in the Custom Alerts FAQ where you can read and get examples with screenshots of each and every alert and what it does and when it's executed. And so I can only encourage you to use these sources and make yourself familiar with what we provide here to make the most out of it. Apart from that, I'm running it full steam with all the tools we provide. So FX Dynamic is enabled, FX Levels is enabled, FX Volume, FX Power and RX Power. And so if I would provide this template just for free in the download section of the Central Stein Investments page or the Custom Alerts FAQ, and people load it without having these tools on chart, it will lead to several error messages and the tool won't start at all. And they probably won't understand why it doesn't start at all. So this causes more issues than it solves. And so, of course, I'm always here to support you in any case. And I can only encourage you, if you want, I share my template, no problem at all. But you should have at least all the tools I run on my side as well. And then I can send you the template and you can run it without any issues or error messages at all. So If you want the template for my VPS monitoring here for the Custom Alerts tool, just drop me a line and I'm happy to send it to you. Just one more hint. If you run it like I do here in this case, please make sure you have enough resources on your VPS, because this setup with 5 charts and 5 instances and several instances of FX Power running and filtering the easy scalping alerts requires almost 2 GB of RAM on this VPS, and so please take care that your VPS has enough resources to run this setup and profile properly. So that's it for now. I get back to Alain and our development work to finish the Easy Trade tool as soon as possible, and I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching and bye bye.